Hey everybody, welcome to Smart Yoga. I'm Don. Namaste, of course. This is a subject that I just wanted to point out because sometimes it happens and you might suffer silently or wonder what's wrong with you. This is especially directed at women and in particular mothers, because what I've experienced in life, the 20 years that I owned and ran a dance school with my business partner. She and I both since, handed the business off to other folks. But in interacting with moms so often and just watching your lives and how difficult they are, just trying to get one kid in and out of the car, and then you've got another kid, and then you might have a third one, and there's only two hands and 2 feet. And your life no longer is your own once you have a child, right? It's partly not your own once you have a spouse, but then it's not your own really much at all. So what I noticed as I started to teach yoga, while I owned the dance studio and ran the dance studio and was interacting with moms, every so often a mom would come up to me after class and would ask me, is it normal to want to cry during yoga? And this normally happened in their first yoga class, because the way I do structure my classes, or the way I present yoga, is to create a space for each of the students to experience themselves. And so for a mother who's been so busy, but who finally gets an hour and a half to try yoga that maybe she'd been desiring to do, when I encourage the class to bring their awareness inward, close your eyes, breathe deeply, set your intention, just the simple act of somebody saying, focus on yourself, can elicit emotions you didn't know were coming, or that you probably knew you had them, but you didn't have a chance to express them because you still had soccer practice and dinner and work and everything else that you might have in your life. So the answer to the question is yes, yoga, as anything that will allow you to sort of decompress, feel, check within yourself to see. You'll experience things. You'll experience thoughts that you didn't know you necessarily had. Some good, some not so good. And when you take time to truly get quiet, and that's what yoga has to offer when it's not presented as merely a physical activity. It is certainly physical, but the physical is only a part of the way to getting toward the mental, the emotional, and if you look at life through a spiritual lens as well, I mean, there's all of that, but all of which engages, almost all of which engages the mind. But when you're beginning to allow yourself the freedom to look within, or somebody else gently says, bring your awareness inward, breathe, and then you're going through vinyasas and you're doing the various aspects of a class, it's not uncommon to experience emotions that you didn't know were there. Or maybe you did, but they were just stuffed there. And I don't mean that in a scary way. I'm saying that it is perfectly normal to feel things during a yoga class. I still do, right? I've been taking yoga, 15 years or so, teaching for 13, 14, something. And there are still times where I'll be in a class and I'll feel myself, and class will start off fine. And then all of a sudden I get agitated with myself. Or there's somebody in the class that makes weird noises and I'll be like, don't they know? And I'll have to catch myself. But I'll begin to feel things and sense things, and then I have to address them. Now, because I've addressed so many things, in all the years, not merely of yoga, but, I spend a lot of time in thought. It's still remarkable to me that, and I love it, that I still see and experience things. But for somebody who's new, who may have had, 5 years of, you've got 2 or 3 kids, and life is just chaotic and it's no longer your own, and suddenly you're taking time to take maybe an inventory of what's inside you emotionally, even for 3 or 4 minutes, when you're just quiet in a class, that can elicit those sorts of emotions. So I just wanted to share that with you, that if that has happened to you, you're not weird. It means, one, you've probably got a very good instructor who doesn't bark commands at you, isn't constantly overloading you with information while you're doing your class. It means that the instructor is creating a space for you to grow into a higher version of yourself, the one you believe in. But just like cleaning a house, in a sense, you've got to see what the house looks like before you can begin to rearrange or clean or say, wow, that really does look good. And internally, it's the same thing. So I just wanted to share that with you, that yoga is indeed a journey, and journeys involve seeing things that you didn't necessarily plan on seeing. But generally speaking, seeing what's there is really liberating. It's freeing just to see it. You come to a place of acceptance, and then you go to work on that, whatever that is. So there you go. I wish you well. I honor you very much, especially mothers. Your job, I saw it as a man. I saw firsthand what you go through, and it is extraordinary. Men, we have our own challenges in life, but once you give birth, your life's not your own anymore. And when somebody gives you time to kind of make it your own a little bit, it can be emotional. So there you go. I honor you very much. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.